been sitting here waiting in my tomb, fingers crossed, always shaking cool like a nervous patient in my waiting room. I ripped the fetus out of pregnant mother, scared the Jesus out of took the fetus, dipped it in some peanut butter, and make that shit on my lunch break. Your palms shake the fact that I've been waking before you even toilet train. I know the game, I've been headed to get to 97 with the track, making the death of shadows 9/11. Been executed more times than Michael Myers, but I always come back strapped with an axe and a pair of pliers. I'm here beside you, always creeping in the dark. I was conceived in the cupboard, corpse in the trunk, and that was just the start. Always pressured by my pops to go to med school and shock my whole family when I swallowed enough pills too. Kill myself, but it just killed my whole compassion for human life, and now it's time for me to take action. You don't know what I've been thinking.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 13 of Horror Corridor, and we are here with Dr. Gigglez. What's up?
Hey, what's up, man?
How you
Thanks
doing?
for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. It's crazy, man. I've been listening to Dr. Gigglez for a very long time. Possibly found out about you because of your namesake being similar to the movie Dr. Gigglez, and as you can see,
Yep.
I'm a huge horror fan.
Yep.
So me and my friends used to watch that
You
shit.
got awesome. You got badass posters. Like I said to you earlier, man, I love those posters, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I think eventually I might do a green screen back here, but I want to have it so I can roll the green screen up anytime I want to show off my posters.
Oh, yeah. That'd be dope, man.
Yeah. So that way I have different. I mean, I could show you my apartment. It's so tiny. It's like not a lot you can do here yet, but
Hey, that's all right. Just keep building, man. You're doing an awesome thing, man.
yeah. Well, I love your backdrop too. I mean, you're in the haunt industry, and you can kind of tell with your gothic stuff that you got there.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Hell yeah. And you're repping the Hatchet, which I also respect.
Oh, yeah. I've been down with them for a long. I got
Whoop,
stories
whoop.
about that.
Oh yeah, whoop whoop. We'll get into that too.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you so much for coming on the show. For those of you guys that don't know Dr. Gigglez, because he has taken a few pretty long breaks, do you want to kind of introduce yourself a little bit to the audience?
Sure. I'm Dr. Gigglez, and what I'm going to tell you is the story of how Dr. Gigglez became a thing. Like, it'll help introduce with everything. Way back, I started rapping since 1992. It was terrible. I was just like this white boy living in the country, you know, and I was trying to do like gangster rap and stuff back then. It just wasn't working. And then I found out about Insane Clown Posse in 95. So I started listening to it. I'm like, I've never heard anything like this. And I'm like, that's more believable than this white kid back in the 90s trying to be a phony gangster rapper. So I said, So me and my friends were sitting around. I'm like, I want a doctor gimmick. So I don't know what to call myself. And my friend, one of my boys was like, yo, just call yourself Dr. Gigglez because all you do is giggle all the time. Like all the time. Like you just laugh at nothing. You get high, you just laughing, whatever. And I'm like, all right, I'll be a serial killer doctor. And then it actually took until now to actually like have a whole concept. Like it's all concepted out. But one of my boys, Jay Scrub, that lives out in Ohio, he's the one that got me into how people know me as Dr. Gigglez. I don't know if you're familiar with riders.com.
No.
They were a Juggalo fan site back in 2000. They had a record label called Riders Records. There was like me, Gash, crap.
I've seen Riders records on people's stuff, like random artists here and there. Yeah.
Yeah, and he introduced, because he was part of that, introduced me to that, and that's how it got started. And then all of a sudden, I don't know if you're familiar with Wolfpack, Daddy Longlegs. He emailed me one time back around 2001 and was like, yo, your shit's dope. Why don't we hook up and, do some shows and stuff? And I had just recorded an album and I was like, yo, I'm going to start doing my first show ever and release the album. I'm like, you want in? And he did. We did it at Providence, Rhode Island, at this club that no longer exists called The Living Room. And really everything just transpired from that. It just took off, kind of, because the scene was totally different back then than it is now. But that's really the introduction, I guess.
That's awesome. That's a good way to start. Wolfpack is another one of those groups that I think got me, because I was really into the metal and the hardcore industrial, basically everything other than hip hop growing up. I liked, Ice Cube and NWA and stuff. But like I didn't know about that there was a horror edge to it until I discovered Brother Lynch. But like further on to that, Wolfpack was one of those groups that really tied the metal in with the hip hop. Plus they had the Bloodhound Gang connection. So yeah, it was really cool seeing them like in the early days. So were you ever on any of the Wolfpack tracks? I can't remember.
There is. It's like a hidden track that was on one of their CDs. The one that had what is it? Something Wicked This Way Comes and all that. Evil Is. There's a hidden track. Well, they had me record. I forgot. I think it was Jimmy Pop on it. I think.
Yeah, he's on a couple of their like.
Yeah, and I forgot. This was years ago. They had me record new verses for that, and it was being released in Europe. I don't know if it ever got released in Europe. I know the track exists, but I've never heard it finished. But I think it got released in Europe. But I don't. I'd have to talk to Daddy Long. I don't remember. I forgot all about that now that you bring that up.
Well, I'm gonna look for it and I will post it on our pages if I find it, because that sounds like a super interesting track. Dr. Gigglez, Daddy Longlegs, and shit. So.
Oh yeah, because I remember. And on their last CD, I forgot the name of the song. I think it's the one that's like, you are not like me, and they're like singing and stuff. Yeah, and my vocals are in that singing part with them.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like
it's like isn't it called like Kill Yourself or something? So do us all a favor and kill yourself or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And I know he had a few of his friends that were rappers and stuff. Yeah. Just throw down on that, just kind of like, hey, you. Not that they advertised anybody was in it. Yeah. But they just did it just kind of like, oh, just come on, just be part of this little history moment. We're like, I'm down, dude. I don't care. I don't care if my name's on it or not. I just wanted to do it. And it was just awesome.
I remember, back in the day, you get someone like kind of well known on just to do the like backing vocals, and like, there would be no word of it, but like other than just kind of legend, like word would get around and be like, oh, did you know that dude was in the background on that? Really?
Yeah. So anybody that doesn't know that, I am on one of those Wolfpack, just singing in the song with them. That's cool. But it was a cool moment. I liked it.
Nice.
So it was awesome.
So what originally got you into the rap shit? Like, were you always into rap before you got into, because you said 92 was when you started?
Yeah, I was like heavy into like Too Short, NWA, even like LL Cool J and Run DMC and NWA, all that stuff. Like, I was just into hip hop. I just loved it, all kinds of it. I was just listening to everybody. I just, back then MTV actually played music. I would watch everything. I would just look up any kind. I'd have the Source magazine and and everything. And then all of a sudden, again, like I said earlier, when I found Insane Clown Posse back in '95, but I never started doing horror rap until like making an attempt at it until like 1998, 99.
Okay. So it was like, kind of after they were well established.
Yeah. And then I was just like, well, I said, I didn't want to be known as a juggalo rapper. I wanted to do my own thing because like I said, the scene was so much different. There wasn't that very many out there. There wasn't that very many good ones. I mean, I never set out ever to be the best rapper on the planet. I don't have them crazy rhyme schemes like an Eminem or some of these other guys, or like even like Hobson or something like I never attempted to try to be like that. This whole thing that I did was just for fun. Like, I'm just going to have fun, record it. Whatever happens, happens. And then I just started like making connections. And then the connections were like, yo, your shit's dope. Come, we'll come along with us. And, I'd go do shows with Wolfpack. Sometimes I'd be a mask guy. I was learning the business. You know what I mean? And, and it was just, people took a chance on me and I tried my best not to let them down. You know what I mean? Like, these are people that are established going, hey, we're bringing you under our wing. Come on down and all that. And I had a lot of people helping me like, hey, the way that you did, like the first album I did is Dr. Gigglez, The Doctor's In. If you really pay attention, the lines don't rhyme.
A couple of them don't. Yeah.
I just wrote and I wanted to tell a story in the song. Yeah. I didn't care if it rhymed or it didn't. Yeah. But for some reason, people grab it. They were like, oh, this is different. Yeah. Like, I like this. It's not everybody did the everyday thing. But then a lot of the more established people were like, dude, you can't do that. Like, you'd be considered a joke your whole life. Like,
yo, hey, Cool Keith, Dr. Doom, he made a living off of making raps that don't rhyme, and it's fucking fresh. And it's cool because that shows that you're almost putting storytelling over fabricating two words that rhyme together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I said, like even, I mean, I know we're going to talk about it, later on with new stuff and stuff like that. But like this new album is a whole concept. Like I planned every detail of this album out.
Yeah.
Like the whole, I'll even tell everybody the story. So that way when people, you know what I mean, want it, like, they'll be like, oh, wow, he told the story. Now it makes sense. Everything's happening the way it's supposed to. It's pretty sick. But yeah, that's what, that's just like the horror element to get into horrorcore rap, man, and horror rap. As a kid, I loved horror movies. My father said I was like 2 or 3 years old. He had a VHS of the original Night of the Living Dead. And I'd just be in the middle of the night, everybody's sleeping, I'd go pop it in.
Yeah.
And I would do that. And eventually they caught me, but it was like the blend of that, finding ICP and Brother Lynch Hung and all this other, even like the old 3-6 Mafia stuff kind of had that little horror vibe to it back in the day. And I was just like, wow. I'm like, I want to do this. I'm like, I don't want to do this other rap stuff. I want to do this.
Did you ever find House of Krazees around the time that you were starting? Because I do think that your Doctor Is In does have similarities to House of Krazees sound.
Yeah, I've heard of them after that. Like, like once I heard it Twisted, and then people were like, I mean, if you think about it, back in like from 95 to 2000, there was the internet, but there wasn't a ton of information on it like there is today.
It was like Angel Fire pages that took forever to load, and like,
yeah, and then like you'd find different forums and stuff, and
chat rooms.
I found out about a lot of people that like I love to this day. That they might not make any albums, but I'm still jamming to some of that old horrorcore shit back in the day. It was just, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, I wish a lot of people that are growing up now with this horrorcore rap could have really been listening, like as that came out, like House of Krazees, even when Twisted and ICP and Brother Lynch Hung and all these people that were coming up, Esham, Nodis, like all that, you know what I mean? Like all that stuff.
You know what it reminds me of is like there's all these kids that are getting into horror now through The Conjuring and stuff, and I'm like, you guys really got to go back and check out this old shit, because that's back when the art had an edge to it, where now it
matter
feels...
of fact, you said The Conjuring.
Yeah.
The real Conjuring house is 5 minutes from my house.
Oh, cool. You got to film something there, man.
I matter of fact, on my Haunapalooza YouTube page, I've taken videos of, I did a live stream on one of the Facebook pages, and shit was popping off.
Oh, because
I paid like $170 to you stayed in, you do a ghost hunt thing. Let me tell you, man, that place was insane. That's the shit that was going on in there. Doors are opening and slamming, and we got all this stuff on. It's nuts.
Oh man, now I gotta tell my son that, because he's obsessed with the Conjuring universe, and mainly because of those movies, which I can't stand.
Yeah, well, after we're done, I'll send you some links to the videos that you can see crazy weird stuff happening, and you just watch the videos. We found photos of shadows and stuff that weren't there, and it's insane.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome, and you live right next to it, so you could just go right back and do it again.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Cool. So yeah, was there any other were you ever into like the hard horrorcore shit, like Bedlam, KGP, or
Oh yeah, Bedlam used to be my jam back in the day. I used to always be bumping Bedlam back in the day. I love them guys.
And then Esham, I'm sure, was...
Oh yeah, Esham, yeah. I remember, I forgot, I've only seen Esham live once. I think it was the Insane Clown Posse tour. It was like the Raining Diamonds tour or something they did years ago. They were playing in Boston. I'm like, oh, I got to check out. And like, I loved Esham, but I really had a better appreciation for Esham after watching him perform. Like, the dude is insane. Like, he just puts on a good show. I just love all his topics and stuff. Like, even his new album. I know his new album gets a lot of like hate on it. People want his old stuff, and I was still feeling the new stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The new stuff's cool. It's just experimental now. Like, he went from horror to... He's always been experimental, but he just... Yeah. Now he's like... His topics are a lot more... You can't write about the same shit over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, good for Esham, I think. I mean, I don't always see, like... It doesn't always connect with me, but I'd rather have someone that's trying new shit that doesn't always connect, because sometimes the stuff that doesn't connect with you at first can like later grow to be your very favorite thing. So
oh yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, so I love that kind of shit. And but anyway, let's get back into your shit, because there's a lot to talk about. Your career spans very long time, but with only 3 major albums. We have The Doctor Is In from 2001. Was that the actual release year?
Yeah, 2001. It was like October 26th or something like that. I released it the same day as the show.
And then, but was there an Xmas in the Asylum right before that you put out? Because
it was, but it wasn't really.
It was just a few tracks.
It was just a few tracks. It didn't have a major release of anything. It was more like I made it. I kind of put it out there, like on the internet. Whatever the mp3.com or whatever it was.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, and
that's actually how I first heard ICP. That's how I first heard about Juggalo shit was mp3.com.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. In like 1997 or something, on like a dial-up modem, like on a laptop.
Oh yeah. I remember downloading
and Slipknot's demos were on there and shit.
Oh, Amazing Jekyll Brothers, before it released, somebody was emailing them to me.
Yeah.
And it would take like 2 hours a song to download. It took me forever.
Yeah, mine was Amazing Jekyll Brothers also. I was getting the tracks off of mp3.com. I remember that shit.
Like I said, I just released that Christmas thing. It wasn't really I don't even know why I released it and what I did with it was just something I did.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then
but then it was re-released again, or was it because there's a 2001 Xmas in the Asylum also?
Well, what I was doing was every year I was doing Christmas in the Asylum 2001, Christmas in the Asylum 2002, Christmas in the Asylum, and it was all different tracks.
That makes more sense. All right. And was there official art for that? Because it looks like it was just the Dr. Zin's cover, but you put a Christmas hat on like the medical snake's head.
Yeah, I never really had like an official cover for it.
Okay.
But I mean, back when I started doing Dr. Gigglez, I had no clue what the hell I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not a clue. I was just kind of, it's kind of like when they say you throw shit at a wall, see what sticks.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was trying to do. I had no clue about nothing.
Was there any other wicked shit rappers around you, or were you just trying to figure this out by yourself?
I mean, there was other Q Strange. He's from Rhode Island as well.
Oh, cool.
And then really, both of us were really like the big thing in the New England area at the time. I mean, Q Strange more so than I was.
Yeah.
Like, he has a way bigger fan base than I do, and people love him. And I wish we could somehow to coax him out of retirement for a little bit. Like,
yeah, he comes back for a track seems like every couple of years. You see him on a track.
The dude is. I love that guy.
Yeah,
he's like
cool.
an awesome dude to hang around. Like, I've hung around with him, recorded music with him. He's an awesome dude.
Yeah.
Just he was always a good friend.
And he's a good storyteller too. I love the storyteller
and stuff like that. Oh, forget about it.
Bad Day is my favorite, one of my favorites. Yeah, Bad Day 97.
I actually have one of his cassette tapes. That CD with the Drifter and all that on it.
Mm-hmm. Is that
Execution to something like that?
Well, there's Creation to Extinction. Is that what?
Yeah, I think it might have been that one, maybe.
Well, and then there's I can't remember. The first two albums kind of sound the same, but but they're really cool. Yeah, which I think those were like Mad Insanity Records put those out. I could be wrong.
I gotta find it. It's in a bin. I still have the cassette tape he gave me of that. The one with the baby on the cover.
Oh yeah. That's Creation to Extinction. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have the cassette tape sealed somewhere in a bin over here of it that he gave me one time. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this is badass.
That's cool, man. Have you guys ever played shows together?
Oh yeah, matter of fact, we did this show in 2002 at a club called Lupo's. I used to do the annual show called Halloween. That's when the first show I ever did, I was like, we're naming this Halloween. We're gonna do and we did Halloween for like 10 years straight. And then we just stopped doing it. But he's played that at Lupo. Lupo's is kind of like a CBGB and a Whiskey A Go-Go.
Okay.
It doesn't, it had that kind of power, I guess, in the industry. Like, oh, you play these are the venues you play, and you've made it.
Cool.
And we almost sold it out, not complete, but almost. And it had Wolfpack, it had 33rd Degree, it had myself. It had Q Strange, Hysteria on it. I don't know if you ever heard of Hysteria.
I don't think so.
It was like three dudes from New Jersey, Demise, and matter of fact, they're on one of the Christmas albums. I just had a stack of them. I still have a few sealed CDs laying around.
Yeah,
because there's actually a version 2.0 of the Dr. Zen. There was only I did this one little thing. There was only 100 copies ever made. I did that on purpose, and I have like 3 left. So
is it the same recording or is it a different recording?
the same. I took a couple songs out and I added a bunch more tracks to it. So it's kind of I did that in my way. I did limited release on purpose.
Okay.
My way only had about 500 copies, and that was it. I did that, and I never made more. But now with the internet, put it on. So if anybody actually got a hard copy of My Way, there was only 500 made, and there's only like 5 left.
That's awesome. I'd love to have a copy of that, just because the cover is from Guinea Pig.
I love
Devil's
movies.
Experiment. So we're
the one with when they find the mermaid in the sewer.
Mermaid in a Manhole. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the fourth one.
That one was so good, and I love the one. I don't know. I can't remember that because I haven't seen these movies in years. The one that the guy kept cutting body parts off until he was just a head on a coffee table.
That's He Never Dies.
Was it? Yeah, I got I just saw I had a stack. They just in clear CD holders, DVD holders, and I got the whole. There's I don't know what 8, 10 movies.
Yeah, there's 7 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got them all.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I seen them online and people talking about them. Like, I got to buy these things because it's kind of like, you ever watch the Serbian film?
Oh yeah, big fan of that.
That movie's insane. I got like this crazy extended cut. There's like many different cuts.
Did you get the Unearthed Films one that just came out?
No, I bought mine like, I don't know, quite a few years ago. Probably like on eBay. It's a bootleg copy of it.
Oh, okay. Well, Unearthed,
even ending's longer and everything.
Yeah, Unearthed Films just put out like the full version on Blu-ray, but they're gonna put out another version that has like another few minutes added to it that no one's ever seen yet. And they're putting out a Serbian documentary, so that should be out in the next year. I'll send you the trailer for that because it looks the documentary actually looks hilarious. So,
because I remember hearing the stories that the story I heard was the director had to bring that baby in because if not, he was going to go to jail. Because of that scene. I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, great.
Oh yeah.
I love a lot of that crazy horror stuff. Like, I mean, I try to take like with Dr. Gigglez, I try to like get inspired. Matter of fact, I gotta ask Fury. He did that song, I think, with Bizarre and King Gordy. And they're like killing stuff and he's killing somebody in the music. I don't know if you ever seen the music video.
Was it off of the
something like that?
Yeah, Taking Lives off of the Something Awful album.
Yeah, because I'm on that album too.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up later too.
Yeah, but we can talk about that later. But yeah, the video, the scene that Fury's in with the girl, that's almost like that one scene with the guy from Serbian film with the girl.
Yeah,
it's almost identical.
Yeah.
I gotta ask him. I gotta ask Fury about that. I'd be like, dude, did you get that from Serbian film? Because that's so sick.
Yeah, dude, I've always loved Fury's music, and it's crazy because he's just such an underrated rapper, but he's got these big connections to Bizarre and to Eminem, and like, I don't know, but it's like a lot of people know Fury, but maybe he's kind of just like you. He takes some pretty long breaks and stuff like that, because I haven't really seen him around lately, but...
Yeah, matter of fact, when we did that little Eazy-E show at the beginning of the month, he had his Capital Punishment group, him, Ether, and Bloody T.
I remember them.
Yeah, they did a set right before Little Eazy-E went on. Trey Pond was there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was such a great show. But yeah, Fury did it, and Fury said that's the first time he's performed in like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I missed because that Something Awful album, it's filthy. It's really disgusting. It's one of those things you can't listen to out loud around anybody. But it's really fucking good. Like, it's just nonstop collabs of like all the filthiest rappers in the underground. You got like Brother Lynch, Q Strange, the Joker's on there for some reason. Like, everyone's on there. And I mean fucking everyone. You're on there.
I think what Fury did was what I think he did, and I don't know. I think he just got like all his boys, like all his friends, and was like, "Yo, we're doing this album." And I think it was kind of this is what I think. He didn't say anything to me about it. I think what he was doing was giving everybody an olive branch.
Yeah, because things were getting pretty. That was around the time when everyone was starting to kind of like split apart and shit, and there was all these labels and stuff. So, yeah, it brought a lot of people. I mean, maybe not together figuratively, but it brought a lot of people together on tracks. But yeah, for all the listeners, if you haven't checked out the album Something Awful, which is a group between Bizarre and Fury. Something Awful Taking Lives, you gotta check that album out, especially the song Day Off with our guest here, Dr. Gigglez, on it.
Yeah, I remember when Fury asked me to do that. He said, like, yo, we need you to kill us in this song.
It's so good.
It's like it's on our day off. We're like doing this shit and you got to kill us.
Yeah,
I was like, all right. And then I just.
Because you're listening to the album and it's like all fucked up shit, and then you get to this day off, it's a day off, and you're like, oh, it's like a happy song, and it's like, this isn't horror at all, and then you come on the track and you like murder him in the yard, and like you kind of imply that you like made them butt fuck each other or something like that. Because he's like bleeding out his ass at the end.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was just, they know, like, when I do all my music stuff, like that abortion song I do.
Yeah.
Right. That is a hot topic right now in the country. And it's not, if you listen to it, it doesn't really tell you if you're really for or against.
Yeah.
Like my opinion on it is kind of just me killing babies and doing whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever.
It's just Dr. Gigglez doing his job pretty much.
Yeah. And it's like now though, like I've seen in the last couple of shows, people are bitching about it.
Yeah.
They're like, you know, I mean, I come with a baby on a cross and I'm, you know what I mean? I'm pumping this thing around in the crowd. I get it, but it's the times now, but you know what? I don't care.
Yeah.
Honestly, I know my music and even the genre, it's an acquired taste. Not everybody's going to love it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one, I mean, I know all genres can be offensive, metal, rock, rap, whatever. Right. But this is really grimy, filthy shit. You hear horror in it. We're murdering, killing, serial killing, whatever we're doing. So,
yeah,
go to a show like that, you should expect, and anybody that takes it serious, you know what I mean, like that tries to take a baby on a wooden cross seriously, you know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah,
come
and
on,
you're coming out in full costume, and your hype man is like, what's your hype man's name again?
Well, we changed his name.
Okay.
It was Cupcake, and it had to do with the haunted house.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm Giggles the Clown when I'm working at the haunted house, and he's Cupcake the Clown.
Mm-hmm.
And but because of with this new album that I'm working on and all that, I wanted to do everything right the way I never did it. You know what I mean? I sat there, I came up, I wrote down this whole story. Because if you remember, like if you listen to the songs, I'm always like, oh, the unknown asylum, whatever, the unknown asylum. Realistically, that was a kind of a placeholder for the future until I got my shit together and just figured it out. Took me I've been doing Dr. Gigglez since 2001. So this is 21 years of me. It took me 21 years to finally get the business. You know what I mean? Like how things are supposed to be done. People who told me how things were supposed to be done, I just didn't do it. I don't know why. I was like, oh, I'm just doing it in my house. I'm just going to do it this way. I'm going to make these shitty covers and do all this stupid stuff. And it looks terrible. But people still bought it. People still loved it. I didn't.
That was me too.
Anything.
I was the same way with my music. I was like doing it the punk rock way. I was like, I'm doing this for fun. I want to do it in your face, fucked up, like say fucked up shit. And it's never going to sell. So why try to make it marketable? But now looking back, like now I'm actually going to have everything remixed. I'm making a cover and I'm going to release it soon. And it's like 20 years worth of shit. But it's like, now you get older, a little bit older, and you're like, yeah, I could have done that a little different. Maybe I could have had a few less.
Yeah, because like now, like I used to make all my beats. The Doctor's In, My Way, Mentally Unstable, anything before that, that was all the beats I made. You can hear the progression up and down, what was good, what was bad, just funky, weird, me doing it. I don't know how to write music. I just slap on a keyboard and just, oh, this sounds good. And that's what the beat. That's how I did my beat. There was no.
Were you programming from the beginning, like on a computer, or were you doing the stuff analog on a keyboard? Analog
on a keyboard. What I would do is, this is how stupid I was for a few years. I would make each sound track by track, but if I wanted a song to be, I didn't write anything. I just said, oh, I want the beat to be 3 minutes and 30 seconds or 4 minutes and 50 seconds. I would just pick random times. So I would go the drums for 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Go back to the bass line and play that for.
I did that shit too on a 4-track back in the day.
Yep. That's what and then I would just do whatever. And then I would do it. And then eventually when I started learning how to do the computer stuff a little bit, I used to use like Innuendo back in the day and like Magic's Music Maker or whatever.
How about
back
Cake?
then.
Do you remember Cakewalk? That was the
Yeah,
first one.
I hated that one. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but I hated that shit. And I was just like, nah.
Yeah.
I just used that. And then Daddy Longlegs was like, dude, you're kind of a musical genius being able to do this thing, but you're doing way too much work than you need to.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, do this, da 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 da. And he was showing me. He's like, I'm like, oh, okay. So then I started doing it, making loops, and then you know what I mean, and just doing this and that, making everything sound as good as I could. Like Mentally Unstable is really when I started kind of getting it with the beats more than the other ones.
That album's really clean. Like it sounds like you had that one actually mixed and mastered to like a way different like degree than the other ones. Like because the other ones are very lo-fi.
Like that's why, like I said, like now I want to like do everything right. I got studio time booked this Saturday for 6 hours.
Oh, cool.
See how much I get done there, and then I'll book more time to finish it because I want this album out before the August show. So cool. It's like I'm like, but I don't know how to mix and master shit.
Okay.
You can hear it, and I mean, some people are like, dude, even the new songs you're doing, they sound really good, like ready for, a real. I'm like, nope. I'm like, no. I'm like, no. I'm doing it in a real studio. I'm doing it. I'm having them mix and master it. I'm not playing around. Like I'm gonna get a real, not them stupid, shitty Christmas videos I did just stand in front of a green screen. Like I'm doing real videos.
Okay.
Like I'm not. I want this time of my life. This isn't about me trying to make $1 million. This ain't about me trying to think I'm the shit. This is legit. I'm 44. I'm not getting younger. I'm getting older. I'm a more seasoned vet. I just want this time, however, from when I start now until people tell me to fuck off. I want that time to be like, I had fun. I don't care if I sell an album. I don't care if 2 people come to a show. As long as 1 person comes, I'll be happy. I just need 1. If not, dress up a trash can and everybody leave. I don't care. It's just I'm just doing this for fun and enjoying the ride.
Hey, I mean? you're getting your feelings out and stuff on stage, and that's what's important, And,
yeah, it's just I love performing. I'm not, like I said, I'm not the greatest rapper. I never said I was. I never said I will be. I just wanted to have fun, and like Fury lit a fire under my ass back in February, and he's like, dude, come on. He goes, you haven't done shit. He goes he's like, people love you, man. He's like, what are you worried about? Like, why don't you want? I'm like, dude, I gave that up because of my kids. That's a story on itself. But you know what I mean? I'm like, I had to take care of my kids. That's what it was about. And it was kids happen, life happens, you fall off. You know what I mean? Sometimes, well, I did, not everybody, but at the end of the day, man, it was like Fury was just like, come on, and then I did it. Then another show came up, and then I did it, and then because I did there was one I did. It got rescheduled because of a blizzard with DJ Clay and Misery. That was my first show back in Providence. And then I was like, all right. And people were like coming up to me, dapping me and everything. Like people that I knew years ago came out and were like, you know what I mean? I'm like, wow. It was a good feeling. I'm like, all right, I'll do another one. And then I did one with Dirtball.
Nice.
That was April. Yeah. And then I did the little Eazy-E one. In beginning of May. That, like I said, it was just awesome. I wanted it to be known, like that dude really did something for me. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It was like, yeah, I was dibbling, dabbling. Like, I didn't have anything. Like, why am I coming back? Like, before I did, I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, if I'm doing it, I want to have a meaning, like something for it. Like, I'm not gonna just do it to do it. You know what I mean? I don't need to do it.
Well, one thing that's cool is like you said, you're 44 years old, and I think a lot of rappers do have to worry about that at that point because they're like, oh man, I'm aging. No one wants to see a 44-year-old thing. Well, that's actually wrong when it comes to horrorcore because you have this character, and like people don't give a shit how old Dr. Gigglez is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, if anything, isn't a doctor a little bit creepier? Like, especially a doctor like Dr. Gigglez who's ripping open vaginas. Isn't that creepier when they're 44 than like when they're like in their 20s on SoundCloud?
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I agree.
So you could do this your whole life, and you're still just going to be that creepy doctor on the mic. So
I hope, you know what I hope, man? I hope I'm like 95 and I could still maneuver, like even move a foot at a time. It's still, imagine anybody being 95 as a creepy old ass doctor, be like, abortion, I don't want the baby, you know, like
want a C-section.
Yeah, I'd be like, come on, we'll do it. It might take a little long, but we'll do it. You know, if I could do it, man, I would.
Yeah. So that's one thing is like, yeah, you took some time off. Time has gone by that you lost time, but you have forever to do it because you're not the regular rapper. You have this legacy of Dr. Gigglez and this story and stuff that you can carry on, and you can drop it and pick it up at any point. I think it works.
Yeah, it does. It does. You know, it's like the one thing that didn't happen was I was like, oh, please, no, I hope not everybody forgot me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm hoping there's like somebody. And man, I came back and now people I haven't talked to in years are like hit me. I'm like, oh, so glad to see you back, man. I can't wait to hear the new shit.
Yep. And you popped up on the Horrorcore wiki page. Like I've seen, yeah, it's fucking awesome, man. Like
I know, because even Daddy Longlegs, he hit me up. He's like, dude, that's so awesome. You know, it's so good you're doing it, you know? And but yeah, it's been fun and just like reconnect, and it really felt like me and Fury and the whole old crew I used to hang out with, we were talking, and we're like, you know, like just like being at the shows and being together, it made us feel like it was like 2003 all over again when we met. So I've known Fury just about 20 years now. And, you know, what Daddy Longlegs did for me, I did for him.
Mm-hmm.
I took him under my wing. And, you know, at one show, he was telling everybody about, you know, because of this man, these shows happened today because of what he did for me and let me have a voice. I didn't realize I had that much impact. Cause you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, was he your hype man for a while? Cause I was watching some old footage from the early 2000s and he had did he have a bowl cut, right?
Yep.
He had like, was that actually his hair or did he?
Yeah, he did that. That was his haircut at the time.
He did. Yeah. Cause he's wearing a hospital gown and a bowl cut. Like he actually looks like someone that came out the asylum. So
yeah,
that was
and
cool.
It was just like, I just took him under his wing, let him, you know, I'd help him get shows and I teach him how to set up shows and do show, you know what I mean? And how to get other artists on shows. And, you know, and the thing that I'm proud of, it's like, you know, my own little prodigy there, you know, and he just ran with it and made a career out of doing all this.
Yeah. Well, I'm not always the biggest fan of collab albums, but like if you and Fury did one, I feel like it's in the cards because like you said, both of you owe so much to each other. Like just your vocals, your vocal delivery going back and forth between you guys, that would be a very entertaining album, especially some of the topics that I feel like you guys could touch on.
I mean, I know we do have many songs. I've been on some early of his Capital Punishment. He's been on, I mean, I've done different versions of different songs. There's actually an unreleased version of the original Off With Your Head with Mr. Freeze and Fury.
Oh, cool.
On it that we did a collab way back. We're talking like 2003-4 era.
Yeah.
Around there.
I think I have that. I'm not sure. But I did.
It was around, yeah.
I did see you did a couple songs with Jack Sin from Michigan Misfits, who was a previous guest.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. I don't know when that was. It says 2009 on the album I have, but I got those all from weird sources. So
yeah, I don't honestly remember.
Yeah.
He's a really good friend. He's a really cool dude.
Yeah, he's great. Really, really good vocalist. Are there any topics that you don't talk about anymore? You don't have to answer this question if you don't want to.
What do you mean? Like what?
Like, is there any topics that you talked about on your older albums that?
Oh no, I still like I said, my thing
because you went pretty far on some of the old shit. Like,
oh yeah, and I mean, I'm still trying to even go. I mean, even this album,
yeah,
the new album is more storytelling. Like the words I made were just like kind of making a story. I think I don't know what anybody else out there thinks, but Dead Valentine, like if you just close your eyes and listen to the lyrics and the beat and everything, like I could feel like that could be like a horror movie or something. Like it's just like one of them great like to me, like a great stalker story.
Yeah.
And I loved it, but you know, I get it though, man, you know.
All the shit off of Mentally Unstable had really good beats that I feel like they weren't like as lo-fi as the older beats that you use. They were a lot more like sounded like a horror movie, like especially Orgy in the Morgue and stuff with the organs and shit. Like it's just a really really good. I love when the production on an album is consistently sounds the same throughout the album, like it's telling a story. Like it sounds like a score to a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and this new album is going to do the same exact thing.
Yeah, and you were telling me earlier about you were going to use the new album for the background in your haunt, right?
Oh well, no, I'm making another album.
Oh, okay.
Matter of fact, I just finished one of the first songs recorded for it, right before we did this. It's called The Slaughterhouse, and basically it's basically the soundtrack to the haunted attraction, but it's not going to play through the attraction.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to sell CDs. But what we're doing is, and I decided to do this. They're opening up a new attraction. They bought a piece of land, and it's brand new this year in Palmer, Massachusetts. So I said, oh, I know I have a lot of New England fans. So I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give 13th World Fright Park the exclusive for the whole haunt season. You can only get a physical copy at the haunt. If not, you have to wait until after Halloween to get it.
Oh, nice.
Then it'll go up for anybody else. So I'm working on that right now. And we're going to have fun with it and see what happens. I mean, I have a few stipulations. Like I can't swear in it.
Yeah.
But I could still make it scary. I just can't use the dirty words.
Okay. So also, they know about your previous topics that you used to talk about. And
they think it's hilarious. They love it. Like, that's cool. They know it all.
Yeah, because I looked at the podcast. Is Hauntapalooza podcast? Is that owned by 13th World, or is that kind of like?
Oh no, that's the one that my wife and I started doing. Because before I started working at a haunted house, we used to always go to haunted house. Like we would travel all over the place. Like in New England, we're lucky to have a lot of haunted attractions. There's so many good ones.
Yeah. I
mean, there are some crap ones, but there are a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
And all the haunts know each other. Everybody's friends with each other. Their motto is many haunts, one family. That's like everybody in New England. That's what like their thing is. And everybody goes to each other's haunts and stuff. But yeah, they're just, I don't know. We're going to see. It's going to be interesting, but it's pretty cool. Because I was there the last 2 days. We've been we're building stuff. So getting it ready to open, it's gonna be so sick. I can't wait.
Yeah, hopefully you can like show off some of your creations and stuff.
Oh yeah, we can. Yeah, they let me do it.
Okay, cool.
It's like there's compilation videos on there of like when we're in the clowns and stuff, and I can record it and make little compilations, and I can just put them out every day if I want.
That's cool. I know some haunts don't want to like spoilers or whatever, but that's good because I'd love to see some of your work. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, I'll link you up, man. You'll get a kick out of it because there was Halloween night because it's also a touch haunt. You pay extra $5. They give you a necklace, and that we know that's only those people with the necklace we can touch, and it's every night. So some of these, it was like my friends. It wasn't like random strangers. We were grabbing people and just throwing them through walls. Like the walls are coming down. And I started this thing back in 2020. It's tickle time, and it was kind of creepy because of COVID, because you can't touch nobody. And I'm coming, get ready for tickle time, And then people, it's stuck though, because like they're repeat customers and stuff. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's almost tickle time! It's almost tickle time!" So then last year they had me design, so I built the Tickle Time Creamery.
Oh.
So clowns and ice cream. We made little ice cream cones and stuff. We had fog coming out of teapot. It was like nuts. Madness. It was crazy. And we're throwing people through walls, and it was nuts. I pick up people, put them on my shoulder. I'm running through the haunt with them. And
that's great, man. I love those kinds of haunts. I've been to a couple where they touch you, where they pick you up and stuff, and it's nothing like it. It's hilarious. It reminds people get all scared of it. I'm like, no, man. It's more like a mosh pit or something. Like you're not gonna get like seriously hurt. You're just gonna get tossed
some people
around
get hurt, but it's usually like somebody wasn't paying attention, and like ran into a tree.
Yeah. Or like me, I got hurt because it was also a blackout, and someone like reached down to like kind of touch me, but they kind of got my face a little bit, but it was an accident. Yeah. But just stuff like that, like people slip up a little bit, but there's nothing like, they're very harmless. They're very PG-13, I would say.
Yeah, that's what we try to be, like a PG-13 type place.
Yeah.
So it's like nobody, like if anybody gets you, you're not gonna get hurt,
Yeah.
and we're not gonna kill you. We can't. We don't want to. We don't want to go to jail.
Yeah.
But it's a fun, and there's like only select people that get to touch. They don't just let everybody.
Yeah.
Because there's rules are like, you can't touch women in certain areas and you can't touch men in certain areas, and all these rules and training you got to do. It's crazy, but not much issues though. Surprisingly,
that's cool.
It's weird, you know what I mean? It's like so weird. You would think like people would just go nuts, you know what I mean? Like there'd be lawsuits like crazy, and nah.
Yeah. No, it's like if you got the necklace, then you know what you're in for, I guess. Like,
oh yeah, just people just let it go. People love it.
Yep. Yeah, that's cool, man. I love haunted houses. I cannot wait for the season to come back. My son's addicted to them now, so now I have to take him, whether I want to go or not. But I always do want to go, so it's all good. But they're so far from each other. Like you have to drive 30 minutes to each one here, so it's like it takes some time.
Oh yeah. It takes time. Like before COVID, we could drive like an hour and a half out, do a haunted house, drive another hour and a half out, and still make it to the other one.
Yeah.
We used to just like we'd be bouncing all over different states,
Dang.
just like crazy hitting haunts. There's a lot, man.
That's
You to come
awesome.
out here, man. I'll take you to some good haunts, man.
Word. I'm down.
I'm telling you, if you ever come out this way, I'll take it. You'll be like, wow. I mean, I don't know what they're like out your way, but out here, there's
nothing.
like,
but down south in California, they have the Universal Horror Nights or whatever. It's just supposed to be kind of cool, but I've never been to that.
Yeah, you ever see the movie Hubie Halloween?
Not yet.
There's a scene like a haunted house in it.
Uh-huh.
And it's one of the haunted houses down here.
Oh, cool. Fuck. I gotta watch it now. Keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, you'll see when they go in this thing, and then when you see the haunted house, and you're like, but that's definitely, it's very thematic and stuff like that. Like it's really good.
So is that like your main hobby outside of rapping? Is just the haunt, pretty much?
No, roller coasters.
Roller coasters. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to belong to a roller coaster group, and they would have different events and stuff at different theme parks around the country, and just go, and then like when the park's closed, ride the roller coaster for like an hour. You get some good meals, make some good friends.
Hell yeah, sounds kind of fun. I'm not a huge roller coaster guy because I get motion sick. Like the second I sit in a car, if I'm not driving, I get motion sick. So you can imagine how I am on a roller coaster, but sounds like a fun thing to do. Get your adrenaline pumping a little bit.
Oh, it does, especially early in the morning. You're like, whoa, okay, I'm awake now.
So what would be the most nostalgic area of your career? Would it be like that 2003 area you were talking about?
You know what? Yeah, because that I look back at it, and and I'm talking with the old crew and stuff again, and we're like, that was really one of those highlighted moments. Like maybe at the time we didn't realize how like great that moment was, but when we look back at it, because like at that time in the beginning, we started doing bigger shows, and we started doing playing opening for Twisted, and starting to play with other bigger names in the game, in the genre, and in all that time we never let it get to our heads. We never had like those crazy arguments. Like as one, we just kept propping each other up, like, and then we'd bring new people in and then just start propping them up, and that was just what we were doing. We were just like, and we had so much fun.
That's
like
awesome.
We were together all the time. It's like, okay, everybody went and worked and made money so we could do this. And then once we barely slept. We were always together, just in a home studio recording all the time.
That's great, dude. That's cool. So what are your favorite horror movies?
A lot of my, like Dawn of the Dead from '78. That's one of my all-time favorite movies. I don't know why. I just love the movie. Like I've watched that movie way too many times.
Yeah, it's really
more than probably a person should watch it. It's just, I don't know. But like I love like Dawn of the Dead. I love just George Romero's style.
Yeah.
Like of film and stuff. I like some of Rob Zombie's work. Like some of his movies.
Not
like
a
I
fan.
love Devil's Rejects. Like I love that movie.
I can't stand his movies at all.
Really?
No.
I just thought it was just a great movie. But it's all over the place. Because then like I got like Serbian film.
Yeah.
Then of course I like the Jason movies and Michael Myers.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's cool.
I'm always watching. I'm always trying to find, all the stuff because, like, for a while I didn't want to get into supernatural stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff that would be like The Conjuring and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
there's a lot of that nowadays, I feel like.
But then I started getting into it when what's his name there? James Wan. He made Dead Silence,
Yeah,
and that was
Insidious.
kind of that with that Dead Silence with the puppet,
Yeah,
whatever it is, the puppet thing, and
yeah. Ventriloquist dummy or whatever.
yeah. That's it. Yeah, that and yeah, it was just crazy because I was like, that got me kind of into that.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, it's creepy, kind of horror. I'm like, all right. Then I started getting into Conjuring and all that, but I used to fight that off for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, Witch Project.
I love
I'm
the
like-
Blair Witch Project stuff. Like anything Blair Witch is good.
I was never a fan. I could never get into it. I tried.
Yeah. I just like how subtle they are. But I also have really good memories of seeing it in theaters when I was a kid. So, yeah. Fucking love the Blair Witch.
When did that movie come out?
99, I think, was the original Blair Witch Project.
I would have been out of high school. I might not have. There was a little time in my life after high school. I wasn't into horror, nothing for some reason. And I may have missed that boat.
Yeah. Sometimes in my life, like I'll take a little bit of a step back, and then it's cool because when I come back to horror, there's so much new shit that came out that I get to catch up on. So that's always good.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I do that.
Yeah. Have you ever checked out the Shudder Network yet? Or like
I have
the
not.
app? It's really cool. It's like Netflix for horror movies.
That's what I've heard, and I heard it's worth every penny.
Oh man, it's only like $5, $5.99. But this new movie came out from Taiwan called The Sadness, and it is the most. It's the most fucked up zombie movie that's ever came up. But they're not really zombies. They're like maniacal, rabid people that will. Basically, they're sadistic maniacs. So they just want to rape. They instead of killing, they want to rape, torture, and cannibalize everything. So even like everything, even old people and children and shit are getting like worked. So it's like.
I'll have to check that out.
The Sadness was like one of the most fucked up. It's fun, but it's so fucked up that if you don't got a fucked up sense of humor, it's not going to be funny. It's going to be a nightmare. Kind of like a Serbian film. Like a Serbian film, kind of funny at certain parts, but if you don't have a dark sense of humor, that movie's not funny at all.
Oh no, you're terrorized.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Holy crap! Yeah.
So another favorite I was going to ask: what are your favorite horrorcore artists? From the beginning or current?
Oh God. I don't know, the ones that I was always like rocking all the time. I was always listening to Mars. I was always listening to Q Strange. Of course, I was listening to ICP and Esham, people like that. Those, I mean, the core group that I had that I was listening to, those were my favorites. It's probably biased because of the time that I came up. Because at that time, when I came up, there wasn't a lot of horror artists.
Yeah.
There really wasn't. There might have been 20, maybe.
And they're probably hard to find because they were all underground. So they were just doing like selling tapes locally, but they're not getting their shit online or anything.
Yeah, and it was just like, it sounds weird to me. It's like, I don't have sales numbers or notoriety like, Twisted and Blaze and everybody. You know what I mean? I'm not at that level, and I'm okay with that. But it's just weird when my name has come up in that because of that, just that time period that I came in. There's always like Mars, and then, you had Q Strange, and you had me. You had all these because there wasn't many out.
Yeah, no, really, it was slim pickings in the late '90s and stuff. When you try to like look at early horrorcore, you think '90s, but really a lot of it was early 2000s. When you look at the '90s, it's very select few artists, but there was some really brilliant shit coming out at the time, but it was all really lo-fi and it sounded like it was recorded in a basement, a lot of it, but shit, I mean, there's some good stuff for sure. I mean, especially
there's a lot of stuff that, you know what I mean? And I'm even finding stuff that I still have saved on hard drives from back then. I love going down memory lane. I'm just like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
This is so much stuff.
Yeah, I love doing that too. I'll go through all my files because honestly, when I first heard about you, it was on one of those Angel Fire pages, probably. I don't know, just about one of those things that's just about horrorcore. And I found out about you, but I couldn't find your shit anywhere because the only way to look for stuff was YouTube, basically, which was pretty, you couldn't even find that much stuff on there. So I had to go on. Have you ever heard of SoulSeek? It's like a
No.
it's like a file sharing thing, and I would just search your name over and over and over and over again, and finally I found like Christmas album, and I searched it over and over and over again. And then I found like I think the Doctor's In, and I just did that forever. And then Mentally Unstable came out 2010, and
Something like that, yeah.
yeah, and I think that one I found on YouTube or something, but I just couldn't find your shit anywhere.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like when I had, when I had the website and I was, I'd sell a ton of shit off the website, and then it shows. I mean, I sold more stuff at shows than I did on the website, but it was just hard to find. It was just weird at the time.
I just thought you were like this like invisible artist almost. Like he did some shit and then he just like wiped his name off the face of the earth or something. So I thought that's why it was so hard, that not like you erased it or anything, but like it was just kind of like lost media at that point.
Yeah.
But then like, yeah, by the time Mentally Unstable came out or whatever, then I was like, oh wait, he's still going. Yeah, so yeah, it was just, It was kind of weird in that like 2000, 2010, I wasn't really sure if you were like, cause I wasn't really doing social media or anything either. So had no idea what the hell was going on with you.
Dude, I still don't even know what the hell's going on with me, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, and it's weird. It's like I forgot a lot of stuff like that happened, like with the music and stuff. But then I was like hanging out with Fury and everybody, and then I was just like, oh shit, all these memories just coming back. It was just like these crazy flashbacks. I'm like, whoa. It was nice. I think I needed that. I think at that point in my life I needed that.
Well, I'm super happy you're back, man. And before we go off, I really want to talk about your new release that you were mentioning. So what's the plans for that?
Well, here's the thing. I'll give you the story, because I like the story. Maybe nobody else does, but so where I come from is called the Tickle Time Hospital. So that's where I reside. So basically, by the time you listen to the album, when it comes out, from the beginning to the end, tells this story about Tickle Time Hospital. But the gist of the whole thing is that everybody that's in there is really dead. Everybody's a spirit, a ghost, a demon, or whatever. So we're just stuck in Tickle Time Hospital for all eternity. And then we have all these other project ideas we're going to try. So the next thing is, after I do this, and then the name of this album though is called The Resuscitation, because it's me reviving myself. Nice. And I got matter of fact, I got an artist that's working on doing my album cover right now. And so I can't wait to see that when that comes in. And then then I'm going to start working on doing music videos for it. And then I'm going to get it, like I said, that EP that's going to be made, that's going to be only bought at 13th World Fright Park. Then you go there and you can get it. If not, you got to wait till like November 1st. But some people will have it like September.
Nice. Well, I guess I'll have to fly all the way over there to go get it early.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, it's like we're doing that just because, one, they, got to promote the place. Because I love these people that own the haunted house. Rich and Zeke, they are fucking phenomenal people. Like,
and it gives your fans, like your local fans, another reason to come, like, hop over.
Well, yeah, come check it out, because I'm working there and I'm always hanging out. You know what I mean? And people will always see me at that haunted house.
That's awesome.
So, you know what I mean? So I'm always there. So, and people like that. People come there just to see that I'm there.
If I lived in your town or your state, I would go every year. I'd be like, oh, let's go see Dr. Gigglez.
Yeah, it's just like a cool little cross promotion thing. You know what I mean? That we're doing. And I just said to him, I'm like, look, can we just try this? I'm like, I'll do like with this EP. I'm like, whatever you want me to do, I will do. Yeah. You need me to, you need me to tone it down a little bit because of the whatever. I'm like, I don't have to say fucking whatever. You know what I mean? I don't have to keep swearing. I'll just tell a story that even like a little 10-year-old can listen to. But it's still creepy, that will satisfy Dr. Gigglez fans.
I think that's cool. And like, yeah, it's kind of annoying sometimes, like when people have to make compromises, but I think that's a compromise worth making so you can reach the haunt audience.
Well, yeah, because I want people to be able to go, all right, it's safe enough for my kids to listen to.
Yeah. And like
You know what I mean?
I'd love some horrorcore that I could play for my 10-year-old. That'd be great.
You know what I mean? Because like that EP, I feel like, yeah, there's strong topics,
Hmm.
and it's talking about killing and everything, but there's no bad words in it and nothing sexual.
It's like the Treehouse of Horror Simpsons or
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
yeah, like that. And it's just gonna just try and see what happens. And if it works out, cool. If not, it's just another little piece of history that I leave behind.
Nice. So there's the resuscitation, and
Yep.
then there's the EP or LP for the
It's gonna be an EP for the whole. I'm gonna call it "Welcome to the 13th World,"
Okay, I love that.
and that's what I'm gonna call it. And then it's gonna be like what I call the soundtrack of the haunt.
Okay, and then you're saying resuscitation is the first in a series of
Yeah.
of the tickle. What is the? I forgot the name already. Tickle Time
Hospital.
Hospital. So
Yeah.
cool. That's awesome, man. And you're just gonna. So that reminds me of remember Cryptic.
Yep.
Yeah, they had what was it before they were in the Asylum? That group called the Asylum, and they had the Happy Acres, and then
Yeah.
like once they became Cryptic, they were in the Black Blood Cemetery. So I love
Yeah.
when that's like you have that location that's kind of where everything is taking place or where everything's rooted
Yeah.
from. So
Yep.
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. It was just like, you know what? It's time for me to just do it the way I should have did it. I should have did it 20 years ago, but hey, life.
Oh, one thing I wanted to go into before we stop too, your mask. Who did the mask and what is it like inspired from?
It's like pieces like of cut up faces and stuff.
Nice.
And it's actually a company who does stuff for haunted houses called Haunted Hills Productions.
That's
That
dope.
they do this costume.
Oh, cool. So it's all
Yeah.
from one spot.
Yep, I got it. And I got a whole bunch of new costumes being made for different people for when I'm doing stage shows now.
Nice.
Now I'm like adding more characters and stuff to the shows, and
Are you,
literally I'm just
are you gonna
gonna
do
go
like
out.
theatrics on stage, like killing
Oh yeah, we're gonna
people,
start
and,
doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah, we're just
like I don't know, a guillotine maybe or electric chair, shit like that.
we're
Would
gonna
be cool.
get. Yeah, I would like the electric chair thing. We're like working on all these different ideas, like maybe getting wheeled out on a gurney. You know what I mean? Like on
Yeah.
a table and
Hell yeah.
do that. Like we're just
I love like the old Esham shows, like you'd see him come out of a coffin. There's like fog and like shit like that. Or even I saw ICP a couple years ago, and they had zombies coming on stage, like murdering people and stuff. I was like, damn, they're still doing the theatrics too. Like,
oh yeah, because I got like we got these orderlies costumes coming from the
oh,
hospital.
sweet.
Like, and look at these awesome masks I got coming. Oh,
Yeah, man.
it's
If
gonna
I
be
lived in
sick.
your town, I would be an orderly for sure. At least.
It's just like I know one of my sons is gonna be one of the orderlies.
Oh hell yeah.
He's like, oh hell yeah, because he likes coming to the shows.
Nice.
My son Jeremy, he loves it.
That's great
always-
that you have a son that appreciates your music and stuff, because a lot of people that do music, like their kids don't recognize, like they're just like, oh cool, he's just doing this thing, you know. But like,
Yeah,
yeah, a lot of kids don't recognize their parents are actually good musicians when they are. So that's really cool.
yeah, I know. It's funny, you know. Yeah, my son, like when I record songs and stuff, you know, I'm like, oh yeah, check this out. What do you think? And because like there's this one song, it's I call what the hell do I call? Oh, Just Let It End. It's about killing myself, like the whole song, but it's more of it's a more powerful meaning about like things in my life that would make me want to do it.
Yeah.
But with the beat and everything, and I know it's probably fucked up, but I'm like, me and my kid were like bobbing, like it's just like it's a meaningful song. It's not like this horrorcore cut 'em up kind
Yeah.
of thing. But we were just like bobbing our head listening to it, like, but ain't this sick? Because like we're talking about like it's a touchy, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Weird thing.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
there's a lot of music like that, man. Like, I just got turned on to a guy named Crackle Capone, who's going to be a future guest on here, and like,
I've heard that.
this shit's all about like living in a small trailer town with lots of drugs and death and suicide. There's some horrorcore songs, but it's mainly sad shit. But the whole time, I'm just like, yeah, man, like, oh,
Yeah, it's just I just to me, I feel like I'm just like feeling it. Like
yeah.
if I'm like bobbing to anything, it's like I'm just like feeling it. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
That's just how I feel.
And you do have a few serious songs, like on I think one per album maybe, but there's like
Yeah.
there's usually you get a little real on a few tracks, some sad shit. I mean, we don't have to go into it, but like it sounds like you had some tragedy in your life, and
Yep.
came out, and sorry about that. Sorry that you went
Thank you,
through that. But yeah, I can't wait to see an emotional side of Dr. Gigglez, because even psychopaths got a soft side.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It was just like this time, but it's like the people that I've had listen to these songs, right? Like, I know it's like coming out of my mouth, oh, like, oh, this is the best shit. Everybody's like, oh, this is the best shit I ever did. You know what I mean? Like, I know this is the best shit. Like, the way I've written these songs, it's not like the way I've done it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like different. I'm trying like to try to be a little bit different, but still keep that old school sound.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, I'm trying to change with it and do different stuff. I don't want to sound exactly the same and do the same shit.
Yeah,
But
that's what Bloodshot did on his last 3 albums. He kind of made a comeback, but it wasn't the same horror crunk style that he was doing before. It like turned into this almost like mature, almost classic rock, like folk influenced style with like these really deep lyrics. But he was still murdering people. It was just like damn, this is like a whole new level of maturity. So it'd be great to see where that goes with you.
yeah,
And I'd love to see some wacky shit too. So.
oh yeah, oh trust me, there's wacky shit on there.
Hell yeah,
I
man.
love it.
So where can people find all your stuff? You got a lot of things going on right now.
Yeah, I'll just give the few things right now. I do this thing called the Horrorpalooza podcast. That's all. If you just Google that, you'll find it, no problem. That'll link you on. We got YouTube and social media, whatever. And then I do this amusement park thing, sfneonline.org, or if you can find SFNE online at YouTube, whatever. And then, but all the Dr. Gigglez stuff's going to be part of the Horrorpalooza stuff, because it's just, it fits the whole horror thing. You know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah,
that's what Horrorpalooza is about, with music, movies, whatever.
yeah.
So,
And you're kind of the mascot for 13th World too. Like you kind of do a lot of haunt related stuff on there.
yeah, I do a lot of stuff like that, and I love pimping these guys out. Like the 13th World, just because they're really cool people. They treat me really good, and we're always having fun. Even when the work's got to get done, we're still having fun, and everybody's just vibing and throwing ideas off each other. It's just crazy.
So what town is 13th World haunting if people want to check it out this season?
There's one location in Cumberland, Rhode Island, and then the second, which is the newest one, that's in Palmer, Massachusetts. And it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be awesome, man.
Can you give us a little bit of a sneak peek at what they could expect from your character at the haunt?
Well, when I'm around, I'm not gonna be around like being my character every night.
Yeah.
But you just, he might pop in for, a few minutes, and then, got to go do some other duties and then pop back. But anyway, if I'm around, you better run, because then it's going to become tickle time. And then I can't stop once that happens. You know what I mean? It's just going to get tickled.
Oh, God.
It's creepy. And it's always tickle time.
Oh, that's exactly what I wanted. Thanks.
Oh yeah, man. No problem.
You might be putting some people in their own mental asylum after that.
I know, right?
Yeah. And you're dressed like a clown. A lot of people got clown fears too.
Oh yeah, yeah. They loved it. They made a T-shirt at the haunt, and they were selling out of them all the time. They couldn't keep them in stock.
Hell yeah.
That's what they told me. I don't know how true that was, but that's what they said.
Well, do you have a web store or anything like that?
If you go on the Dr. Gigglez Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
there's a link on it. On
Okay.
there, I'm using, what is it, Spring Teespring, whatever that thing is.
Okay.
And then I do have shirts and stuff when, for shows and stuff. So.
Oh, rad. Cool, man. Well, if you want to come back on once you have these 2 releases knocked out, I'd love to just catch up with you, and we can.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh, maybe around the haunt season we could like do some fucking haunt episode or something like that.
Oh hell yeah, I'm down, dude.
Yeah, hell yeah. You definitely, you're going to be busy this October, but if you want to make a little time, I'm sure people are going to be looking for some haunt related content. So.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be putting some out, and we'll have some. Oh yeah.
Awesome.
I can't wait.
Cool, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was really great meeting you.
Oh, same here, man.
I've been listening to you for so long, and it's crazy to be 35 years old and talking to you. So
I know, right? That's awesome.
After all these years, what the hell, man? Crazy.
That's awesome. I'm down anytime, man.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, anytime.
Roll up a blunt, then pass it to Shrek. Spark it up while the motherfucker slicing your neck. I party like Colorado, watching a flick. Shooting wild, Texas mom starts sucking my dick. 15 widows creeping up in the car. I'm one guy with one job, I ain't getting too far. I knock on the door, it's fury and bizarre. They both drunk on the couch, wishing upon the star. Bitches dancing naked on the kitchen table. Fury on the floor, telling us a fable. I can't believe this is something awful. So I got a steak knife, cut him up like a waffle. Gave eating body parts, snorting bath salts. Bizarre on the porch crying, it's his fault. He passed it on the grass as I stabbed him with some glass. Now he's laying next to Fury, dead with blood coming out his ass.